Well, boys and girls, I know I've said I'm going to take a break from doing interviews, but check this out. I don't know if all of you are aware of what's been going down on our local scene because I've been aware of it from the minute it happened, and I want to bring it in so everybody can see what the hell's going on, if we can even drag any of that out. So let me do this. This is Starting to Pop with Don Kincaid. And my very special guest, Dustin Flash Waller. Thank you for coming in. I know it was an odd request, but thank you for coming in and sitting down, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I know we've talked before, maybe even more than once. We've had a Starting to Pop way back when you first started. It didn't come out the way we liked it, so we waited a little bit of time. We've sat down. I've asked you questions about said subject we're going to talk about right now, but this is the main focus. This isn't to know Mr. Dustin Waller, boys and girls. This is to kind of figure out what the F is going on, because there was a company called Blood, Sweat, and Tears, BST, if you will. They ran a show in Bridgeport last year. I'm not sure on the timeline because Don Kincaid's not all there, so it happened last year. We had a fantastic time, but we haven't been able to get back and revive that whole thing that's been going on. So instead of me rambling, let me get right to it. There was a whole thing at BST. Lucas Chase, if you will, the Cure. The Cure. That cracks me up. The Cure, Lucas Chase, he was part of the whole, like, the main event thing going on. And as well as Dustin Waller, and you were part of that whole main event thing going on. So for the men and women, the boys and girls that are watching, that don't know about the BST, the whole thing, just get us up to speed of what happened between you and Mr. Lucas Chase at that said event.
Okay, well, it was last year, as you said at the time. It was in June. I don't remember the date, but it was in June. I was contacted sometime in that like January, February time, saying that this company wanted to book me and get me into this battle royal that they were having. It was a up and fresh new coming company. Like, even when I was on Center Ring, we talked about it a little bit, and no one really knew that much. We knew the wrestlers that were there. You had like Dan the Man, Tyshawn. You had the guys around the scene around the Connecticut and whatnot that were going on the show. So you knew the names, but you didn't really know the company. So it was all new to all of us, as much as it was to the fans as it was to the wrestlers. So I remember I actually found out when we were on Center Ring that we were doing that 13-man over the top rope battle royal to declare the first ever champion, and the last two men in the ring would have a one-on-one match. And I was like, this is the biggest opportunity of my career at that time. It 100% was, because I was super new. I was only been wrestling for about not even a year at that time. And then I think it was when, like, during an episode of Center Ring, when I looked on my phone and I saw that one-on-one match was going to be like a hardcore match or whatever, and I'm just sitting here like, this is like a few days before the show, and I'm like, I'm not saying I'm going to win, but what if I get to that last two? And that's what you and Fogg were asking me, like, hey, I'm not saying you are, but what if you get to the last two? You got to be prepared for whoever it is. So all I remember was a great atmosphere, like, for the wrestlers when you went backstage. Like, it was really good. Everyone was super nice and healthy around, and it was just really, like, it was all around. It was a really great, like, feeling. It was a great setting. Like, everyone was nice. There was no heat going on backstage. Everything was just cool, because everyone was like, yo, we're just going to experience this together and, see what happens from it. And from the first match, as you saw, like, there was no, like, bad match on the card. Like, every match was on fire, and the crowd was into every single match. It was awesome. Whether it was the pre-show all the way up to the main event, it was awesome.
Good. All right. Don Kincaid's a jackass, so I am sorry to interrupt.
Are we still going?
We are going. Please continue, sir.
Okay. No. So yeah, all I remember was a really great atmosphere around. More than anything I've ever experienced. It was great. Everyone was all around just great people. And I remember creeping on later on in the show. That's when it started to sink in of like, okay, wait, this is happening. Because like every match that I've had has always been at PAPW with all my brothers backstage. Everyone, you could always just go up to someone and say, hey, I'm not feeling so good, anything, any kind of motivation, whatever. And when you're there and you're standing at the curtain and your number's counting down, I'm just like, there's nobody. I got no one. I'm turning to my left and turning to my right, I'm like, oh God, okay. I was like, here we go, boom. And I was like, it was awesome because I entered number 2. Like that was the most terrifying moment of the, let alone everything. I looked at my number and I'm like, okay, oh, 2, lovely, great. I'm like, here we go. This is a great way to start it. I'm like, hey, but I just went in there and it was awesome. Of course, like the fans, they didn't really know who anyone was, so they were kind of just getting the feeling of like, should I cheer this guy? Should I boo this guy? That was the first time in my career that I've ever gotten booed at a wrestling event. I walked out and I just got booed out of my mind. I'm like, you know what? Screw it. I don't care. I'm like, you know what? I'm doing this for myself. I'm just having fun. So I go in there, wrestle with guys. You got Big Jim in there, Hippie Dicky Moon, Kenny Roberts was actually number 1. Me and Kenny were 1 and 2. And like you had all these guys that I've seen around that I've wrestled with once in a while, but all of us coming into this one big company was really cool. And if you watch back on the video, me and Lucas never even touched in that whole battle royal, which is why I think it was such a coincidence. Because through that whole match, I never even touched him. We didn't even talk backstage. Like I never knew who the guy was. So when we were backstage, we never introduced myself because just never really knew who he was. So I was just talking to the guys that I felt comfortable with. And after he eliminated, I forgot who he eliminated, but he eliminated someone to make it just me and him. And when I stood up and I looked at him, we kind of just looked around because we were both kind of just like, wait, like, whoa, this is happening. We're looking around like, who else is here? Oh, wait, it's just us. Here we go. And the ref got in the ring and we were just like, oh, crap. This, like, we just wrestled a whole battle royal, but now we got to have a like one-on-one match. And I'm like, oh, God. Like, this is crazy. And I just look around, I see people in the audience and they're chanting Lucas Chase because he had at the beginning of the show. He had a match in the first match. So I will give him that. He wrestled a really nice match in the beginning of the show just to come in, wrestle a whole battle royal all the way to the, So they're cheering him. They're booing me. And I'm like, I'm just going to go with it. I'm like, this like, it's new. Like, you don't go out there just to be cheered or just to be booed. You can't force the crowd to cheer. You can't force them to like you. Or, if they hate you, that's great. They announced him from Bridgeport. I was done right when they said that. When I heard from Bridgeport, like, you can't get any more, like, there's no. So that was an interesting moment. But we were going throughout the whole match, and I specifically remember just walking out and just hearing you and Fog just like, what the hell is going on? Like, This is crazy. Everyone is like, are you sure that's Flash? Like, I don't think that's like, because everyone that came up to me like after the fact was like, is that even you? Like, I've never seen anything out of you like that. And I'm like, I was just doing whatever, just doing my job. But as like what happened at the end of the match is what I never really talk about it because I never had no reason to. But when he hit me with the vaccination and got me in the crossface, I remember. The last thing I remember was just sitting there and him having his arms around my neck and me looking at the ref and just shaking my hand saying no. And then I remember just waking up in the corner, looking at him in the middle of the ring, holding the belt up. And that was the lowest point that anyone could, like, I was just like, what? Wait, what? Like, I'm just speechless. I was absolutely like, didn't know what was going on. So of course me, like everyone, when I put videos out that night, which of course is my biggest mistake. I just put out what my initial reaction was. Like when you caught me outside. You got my initial reaction. I'm sorry if I lost a casket on you, but I really did. I was like, because I was so confused because I literally I was out. That's why whenever I put the videos out, I said, I didn't give up. My body gave up. Like I can say that mentally I was 100% there and ready, but physically I just wasn't. Like I didn't, as you can see, I never tapped. I never did anything. The ref called off the match. I blamed him. I blamed everyone, but I give the ref props because God knows what would happen if he didn't, because I could have passed out or even worse, who knows. But then Lucas came out and said, all this stuff about how I just had all sour grapes and I'm just saying all this stuff about me. And I was like, you know what? I was like, if you want to do another match, I'm totally fine with that. So we had we were going to do a 2 out of 3 falls match sometime in August, I think it was, of last year. And then for financial reasons with the company, they couldn't, get the building up and the show was canceled. And I said this in a video that I put out earlier, but I literally just felt like I just lost something because I put so much energy into that one, at that, like I said, at that time, that was the biggest thing of my career. That was my main set. So when I lost that, I felt it all.
I have to agree because my father, myself, some of the fans that we know that know you, Fogman, Bruce, you name it. The people that we knew there, we were like, holy shit, we've never seen Flash ever be in a match like that and wrestle like that for the time length. Because again, you had that battle royal, then a one-on-one at the end. And
Yeah.
again, great point that you do make. And you can't, like you said, you can't fault the referee because he's looking out for your safety.
Yeah.
You never tapped. You never quit. You never verbally said anything. You never said, you didn't do any of that. So again, being part of, to that date of your career, the most fantastic match we've ever seen Flash Waller in, and you kind of went to sleepy. So the referee had no choice but to say, that's it. I'm looking out for the safety of the competitor. Lucas is the champion. Now, there's been a big buildup going on. Do you know what I just wanted to point out the name of this show. Do you know what the name of this show is, sir?
I do. What's going? Yeah, stirring the pot.
We call this stirring the pot with Don Kincaid. Now, I know I reached out to you, and we've got this little soiree going on, but I've got a surprise guest for you, sir. If you don't mind, would you mind if I add somebody into our little conversation?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Awesome. Just give me a quick second. I'm not the best at this whole technology thing, so we just we're gonna look for I don't want to say a friend. I'll say an acquaintance of mine, and I tell you, I think you might be interested in who I am looking up right here. Let me find him. Oh, there it is. Let me see that. Let me do that. Let's see if we can give him a ringy dingy and add him to our little conversation, because I think would be a great element. Boys and girls, it's about to get a little bit amped up. We're about to take a bumpy ride. I see an icon. I don't see a face. I hear a little something, but I don't see a... Oh, shit. No yelling right now. Let me get some decorum first before we get a little bit of heat. All right. Lucas Chase, The Cure. Thank you for coming on in. Mr. Waller, I apologize for springing this on you, but it is called Stirring the Pot with Don Kincaid, and we are talking about the subject of blood, sweat, and tears. Dustin Waller, Lucas Chase, getting it on. The best to that date. Dustin Waller, never been through anything like that. You became the first champion. He never quit. The referee stopped it. We were just talking about said match and subject, if you will. I was trying to get a little something out of Mr. Waller about these little promos you got going on. You're trying to keep this thing alive. Blood, sweat, and tears coming back. I don't know what's going on. It's a very confusing time. I know, Mr. Waller, I apologize. Mr. Lucas Chase, if you could, just give us, why would you want to come in? Because I did get a little message. Hey, why don't you throw me in on this mix here?
That's right. And if you stop talking for 30 seconds, Kincaid, I can answer all those.
I'm sorry.
First and foremost, take the quotations out of The Cure, because I am exactly that. Just like I am the Blood, Sweat, Tears Wrestling Champion, just like I am live and in living color, right here again on Stirring the Pot. I asked to come on because I knew that you were talking with Flash today. Okay? And I wanted to come out and clear the air. Because the fact is, these ain't promos, like you said. This ain't nothing more than what it is, and that is the fact that someone on this call could not live with themselves and could not let things die the way that their opportunity died last June when The Cure choked them out in front of a freaking awesome house and walked away with that.
Packed house, as you said. The debut of BST. I was so pleasantly surprised to see that huge crowd. Very hot once we all kind of got used to the environment. Mr. Waller, can we go back to that? And Mr. Chase is kind of throwing it out there that I don't think I think he's saying, without so many words, you're not deserving of this opportunity. How do you feel about what's going on here?
I personally don't care, because if I specifically remember, when the other person on this call was on Stirring the Pot, he specifically said he is the first in line. And you can run it back and watch the video, because those words...
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that you're the first in line. What I'm saying is the reason The only reason that this thing is still as big as it is because you immediately after could not live with the fact that I was better than you.
Uh, but Mr. Waller felt slighted because he wasn't able to get his opportunity to on that Salvation show, if you will. So, Mr. Waller, please touch upon. We were supposed to go to Salvation. You were supposed to get some redemption, if you will. No.
Yeah, it was gonna be. I've confirmed this hundreds of times. We were gonna tear the house down. It was gonna be match of the night, something you would have never seen before. And would I have walked out with the title? I can guarantee it, because at that time I was 100% physically prepared. Like I told you earlier, Don, I put everything I had into that match. I was preparing, I was training, I was studying, I was watching. You don't know how many times I've watched the match with myself and Lucas. I've watched it even to this day. I watch it over and over again to see where I messed up, to see where maybe he messed up. And of course, he'll deny that he messed up because he thinks he's great at everything. But everyone has flaws.
That proves that I'm great at everything. Right there. Right behind me. Okay? And I agree with you on one thing. Salvation Saturday night, had it happened, I wish it did, but had it happened, it would have been possibly one of the, if not the greatest championship bout in Connecticut professional wrestling history. I can guarantee that. You definitely would not have walked out. However, you said it this way. You were watching tape back, seeing where you messed up, seeing how I messed up, seeing and studying the cure. Well, while you were sitting at home studying, I was going around the Connecticut scene and I was fighting, I was defending, I was honoring the Blood, Sweat, and Tears Wrestling Championship in other promotions against other people, and making sure that I brought notoriety, prestige, and I made sure that that title and myself remained relevant while you faded into the dark to rest and on your laurels, to sulk, to sit there and feel bad for yourself. The Cure doesn't ever feel bad for himself. The Cure goes out and gets things done. And that's the difference between me and you, and that's why you will never beat me.
That's
Mr. Waller, but Mr. Chase, Mr. Waller is very, very brand new on the scene. You've had some time in the scene. Mr. Waller, I think he put up a fantastic bout with you, and that close. And I know we always say that close, but that close don't always count, and I get that. But Mr. Waller, you feel that you've had some time, some experience, some growth in your career, and you're feeling now this is the time for Flash Waller to come in. Now, I don't know how to call you. Is it Dustin Waller? Is it Dustin Flash Waller? I'm a little confused, sir.
It's whatever you want to call it. You can call me Dustin Waller, Dustin Flash Waller, whichever suits your boat. Flash, whatever you want to do.
I like Flash because I thought it was a great thing, so I'm just going to stick with Flash for now.
And Don, you can call me the BST champion.
The Cure. Mr. Flash, now you've changed the whole game of this match that's supposed to be coming up. It was a 2 out of 3 falls, which, hey, I love. I think that's a fantastic stipulation, but you've been thinking way too much. You've been trying to think out of the box. You've been thinking, how can I really, really prove myself, to the fans, to the championship, to the company, I don't know what you're trying to do here, but you went from a 2 out of 3 falls. Wow. Not a 30-minute, but a 60-minute Ironman match. That is 1 full hour. And I know we're not stupid here, but that's 1 full hour of working a guy like Lucas Chase. And what are you thinking, my friend? Please.
Yeah, it gives me chills just you saying it, Don, because when you hear a 60-minute Ironman match, you think of just like life-changing matches. Whether it's WWE, WCW, WWF, you think of the greats throwing it down. And when Lucas was on Stirring the Pot, he said if he accepts, we can do the 2 out of 3 falls match again, acting like nothing happened. When, of course, we went over this past year completely forgetting about Blood, Sweat, and Tears because we've heard nothing about it. And we've been sitting here wondering if that shot was ever going to come. So while Lucas was staying in Connecticut, I was in Rhode Island, I was in New York, I was in Massachusetts, I was wrestling, I was perfecting my craft, maybe because I didn't have a little attire attached to my waist to prove it. I still went out there and I still threw it down with some of the best that are doing it today. And no, I don't have a belt. And I'm perfectly fine saying that, because when you came out saying that they're doing 3 shows this summer, which is great, and you wanted me to be your first opponent, I do give you respect for that, because you know what we did at Battle at Black Rock. I know what we did at Battle at Black Rock, and we blew the house off. We totally did. But this whole thing, this whole concept is revolved around time. The time that it took for Blood, Sweat, and Tears to come back, the time that we were in the match at Battle at Black Rock, and 2 out of 3 falls just wasn't enough for me, because there could always be a draw. Like, you never know. We needed nothing, no rules, no disqualifications, no countouts, like nothing. So I just instantly blurted out 60 minutes. That's what came out of my mouth, and that's what I posted, and I don't regret it, because Don, you were the first guy to reach out to me saying, "What is wrong with you? Are you crazy?" And countless of other people have reached out to me saying, like, what, like, why? And I'm saying, because we need a match to prove that physically we are both going to be ready, and mentally, because 60 minutes will definitely take a toll on both of us mentally.
That is absolutely for certain. Mr. Chase, do you feel that Mr. Waller has, in his young career, and I hate to point that out, but I have to, in his young career, is ready, because a 60-minute match is world-class athlete caliber match. That is no effing joke right there, my friends. Mr. Chase, do you feel that Mr. Waller's got what it takes to last a 60-minute Iron Man match?
I'm going to comment on something that, Flash, you stated just a moment ago, and that's the fact about respect. And you said that when you heard me say on Stirring the Pot that I believe that you were the first in line, I believe that you were the first in line based on the premise of respect. Because I do respect you, and I do not want anyone to, disregard that at all or by any means. Okay, I respect you more than I respect a hell of a lot of other people out there. Hell, I like you more than a lot of other people out there. But the fact remains is that I don't like complainers. I don't like when people make excuses, and I do not like it when people don't step up to the plate when they're down in the dumps. You lost at the Battle of Black Rock. We came into an unprecedented situation with the Salvation Saturday night match being canceled. I wanted that match. You wanted that match. It was going to happen. Life got in the way. But the fact remains, okay, I'll give it to you. You've been up at, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, everywhere above and beyond. And I've been watching you. I've been studying you just like you've been studying me too. But the fact remains, okay, we are in an unprecedented time right now. COVID-19. We've all been on quarantine. Okay, we've been sitting home doing X, Y, and Z. Okay, but guess what? You've been sitting at home worrying about stupid little kids making trading cards of you so you can put on t-shirts. You've been sitting at home posting on TikTok videos. I've been sitting at home busting my ass, bought a wrestling ring to put in my own home to train, bought every single weight and made a state-of-the-art fitness facility in my home. Don, to answer your question, do I think Flash is ready? I think Flash is ready to be a champion. But do I think Flash has the mental, physical, athletic capabilities to go 60 minutes with me? Absolutely not.
You speak of this ring. I've seen it. You cut a promo in it, and it's wow. You've got an actual ring. You're working your ass off in the ring. Mr. Waller, I know you've seen it. You've answered it, that said promo when he was in the ring. And I know I call them promos, but it's really, I hate to call them promos because they're actual thoughts, actual feelings being put right out on film and shown to us as it's actually going on. You put your feelings out, you put your feelings out. And so I hate to call them promos, but him having a ring right now, I gotta say, he might be just a tad more ready than Mr. Waller. Have you been able to get some training in and such because he thinks you're slacking and you're kind of effing off on the side.
Well, like you're saying, with the stuff that's going on in the world right now, not everyone can do much at all. And especially in my boat that I'm in, I can't go train because PPW shut down. Most of the companies in Connecticut are shut down. And not everyone has the conveniences of getting their own wrestling ring, which is great. I will give that is pretty cool to have your own wrestling ring. Of course, like 4-year-old Noah would love that because listen to what I just said. At the end of the day, like you said, Don, this isn't a promo. This is a video because at the end of the day, Lucas, this isn't about I don't know. You know what? Fine. This isn't about Lucas and Flash. This isn't. This is about Justin and Noah at the end of the day. This isn't a promo. This isn't about professional wrestling. I said this in the promo that I put out. This isn't about the belt. This is about going out there and not just proving to each other, but to the fans and to everyone at home that we have been busting our asses no matter how we do it. And we're going to go out there and win, loss, or draw, 100%, we're going to go out there and blow the house down. We're going to tear it off whenever it may happen. Whenever the world goes back to its own sanity, we will do it. And we will throw it down 100%. And I am putting my prediction now that I will walk out as the new Blood, Sweat, and Tears Wrestling champion. 100%.
Now, a 60-minute Ironman match, for you boys and girls that don't know, you take an hour. And these guys...
Don, I need you to please, my friend, shut your mouth for 30 seconds. And I'm going to address Noah. Like you just said, it's not about Flash Waller. It's not about Lucas Chase. It's about Justin and Noah. And with that being said, championship belts aside, promotions aside, emotions aside, this is now personal. And when it comes to personal, no one does personal like me. You want to talk about real life? Let's talk about real life. When you were wet behind the ears, fresh out the sandbox, I was winning championships. When you were graduating grade school, I was in the ring busting my ass. You can't even possibly fathom the shit that I've gone through to get to the point where I am right now. You talk about time. I spent time being buried by Damian Darling and Joey Brico and all these freaking guys that couldn't stand it when I was the shiny new toy. I didn't have anybody to have my back. I had to make my own path. And I did that. And come whenever we can, whenever the world comes back to fruition, whenever you step into the ring with me and we face off, face to face, I am not only going to beat you, I am not only going to freaking beat you, I am going to teach you a lesson, a life lesson. And that life lesson is you don't fuck with a man who has nothing left to lose.
I apologize, sir. Not for him.
No need to apologize because what you have done is beautiful, Don. That right there is what I wanted. I wanted that. I wanted to bring the beast out of Lucas. And I think me and you and anyone watching just witnessed that. Because like he said, this is personal. And no matter how many people at home think this is going to be a professional wrestling match, this is going to be a damn fight. It is a 60-minute Ironman match, no rules. No holds barred, no disqualifications, no countouts. Any rule in the Wrestling 101 book is thrown in the garbage. And I can guarantee you that. I got what I wanted out of Lucas Chase. And you look a little unsettled there. You got yourself into something that you weren't expecting, did you?
No. That's why I had to smoke a cigarette. I was very nervous.
Oh, I can see that. But what I just got out of Lucas is the Lucas Chase that I want standing across from me in the ring when we go one-on-one for 60 minutes. Because he wanted to talk about personality, no one having his back. Since the beginning of this year, my own family has stabbed me in the back. Stuff has been going on just as much has been in his life. We are both on our own, so we are both training on our own. We are both ready on our own. When we do this, it will be better than any match that we've ever had before. Like I said, what I just got out of Lucas is what I want. The beast that is Lucas Chase. He's supposed to be this goody two-shoes guy. Doesn't look like it.
Well, I appreciate you for not yelling at me like he did. I was trying to explain what a 60-minute man match, but I don't think I should. Just with now, I appreciate that you actually appreciate that I brought him in and got that out of him. I that's another spin that just took right here. So I guess I thank you for that. I don't know. I guess I thank you.
In the beginning, I kind of wanted to jump through the phone, but you know what? I understand why you did. Like you said, it's called stirring the pot, and that's exactly what you've done. And I completely don't take anything against you for that. And I think you've gotten more than what you were looking for.
Oh yeah, that's like walking into Walmart with $20, getting one thing, and you walked out with 80 things for $20. That just threw me, and I hopefully the fans, because this is something that I've been waiting to really culminate, and you guys have brought it back. And he says that you did because you couldn't let it go. I'm glad for that. Selfishly, I'm happy for that because now, boys and girls, I don't know what the date will be. I don't know where it's going to be. We obviously don't know what the hell's going on out in the world right now. We take it day by day, minute by minute. But when this Flash Waller and Lucas Chase thing comes ahead, if you're not there, you're a jackass because this is going to be something special. And I take nothing away from whoever else is on the event where this is. I take nothing away from the other boys and girls on that event. This will make me go to wherever the fuck you guys are going to. I will drive 2-3 hours. Maybe 4 hours might be a little bit far. I don't think you want to drive that far either.
We're hoping to stay in Connecticut. We're hoping to keep it in Connecticut.
I can't wait till that date.
Where the fight's going to go, that we don't know. But where the arena is, hopefully in Connecticut.
I appreciate you coming in. I apologize for the disruption, but then you kind of like the disruption because we brought a monster out of Lucas that we haven't seen, to be honest. I've seen Lucas perform a bunch of times. I've never seen him like that. You got him to tweak a little bit. So hopefully, I think the mental games have started from one Flash Waller to Lucas Chase. I hope that does not backfire on you, my friend, because he's a beast. Like you said, he's a monster. He's a big guy. And I wish you the best. I am pulling for Team Flash Waller when this all goes down because, I'm a big Flash Waller fan. No matter what the hell was going on in that first BST show. Like you said, me and Dad me and Fog were like, the fuck is going on around here? So I'm Team Flash. I know what Lucas is made of, so I give you the best of luck. And I truly hope you take that belt away from him and give us a deserving champion. I appreciate your time, Mr. Waller. I don't know what else to really say here because I feel I'm still kind of worked up. He's got me a little. So I do have an interview a little bit later with one Casey Navarro. I don't know if you're familiar with Casey. He's the CZW Wired champ right now. I hope he won't yell at me like Mr. Chase did. That would suck. But he's a little more low key as yourself, and I appreciate you not yelling at me. Is there anything else? You guys have said a lot. Is there anything else that we haven't touched upon, or a message, or anything that you'd like to put out there? Or are we good? Or I don't know what to do now.
I think that we just got blown off the place, and we're not even in a building right now. We're all in separate homes, and this is
It is. We've got wrestling right here without having wrestling, boys and girls. This is what I love about Stirring the Pot. This, holy crap, this is Stirring the Pot. Special edition, if you will, with Dustin Flash Waller and was Lucas Chase, but he kind of bounced. The Cure, if you will. I do the quotations because I think it's funny. Thank you so much for spending the time with us, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Holy shit.